Good evening, Rusk enjoyers. Hope you're right. It's time for Profit Review. Basically, with every Rust store, 4 weeks later, I will return to it and see how everything turned out. Did everything match up to expectations? And if not, I have to sit here and explain why. And of course, with every Rust store, Hedge will have some predictions in terms of what might potentially be a very nice investment. Was he correct? You can hold me accountable. So, let's get started. Profit Review, August 1st, 2024 was last week, and that means for today's video, we're here to discuss the August 8 Rust store. So sit back, relax, let's get started. Right then, so what were my initial thoughts when I first saw this Rust store? Oh look, Ultramarine collection did get an instant continuation. Interesting, I'm pretty sure that garage door was very happy about that, yeah. So alright then, maybe we could look forward to some more, we'll have to wait and see. And the Neon collection, it is expanding with the likes of the garage doors. So, of course, just a couple of weeks before this, we did have the likes of the up and the down garage door. Well, we're going to see something with the likes of the small boxes and the lockers. Well, we're going to get like a batch of these. It wasn't 100% like obvious, because if I can recall, Duck wasn't exactly producing any more garage doors at this point, but there was still some spare that could have been picked out. It was up in the air, so we didn't fully know, but it was questionable. And another Abyss skin. Oh, that's looking very good. And I should also point out 5 weapon skins this week, quite weapon heavy. Not too bad, and I was pretty confident in a couple of them. We'll be talking about that in a bit. And then I have to talk about this specifically. A double barrel baguette. Huh, that's goofy, but didn't we already technically have that? Yes, we did. For at the very end of 2023, Crowley, the streamer, had a Twitch drop, which was basically the exact same design. Bit awkward, you can see that right there. Now, if I can recall, I believe around 100,000 people picked this up for free. So that was definitely leaving me a little bit questionable in regards to that double barrel baguette right there. But hey, we'll see how it all turns out. And then, oh look, Neanderthal has core pieces now. That started off as a primitive set, didn't it? Huh. Well, I guess that's something to look forward to. I wonder if the previous skins from this collection were to spike in demand, spike in price. Well, we'll have to talk about that in a little bit then. Right, so, shall we now talk about the likes of my predictions? What was I looking at with the likes of this Rust store? What was I feeling confident in? So I'm going to sit here and explain that there were 2 weapon skins that caught my eye and I was very, very interested in. First up, we have the likes of the Quarantine SAPS. So if I just quickly go back to the past, when I was talking about the likes of these skins, you can see just a few sales here and whatnot. I looked at that Quarantine SAPS and look, listen, we just went through the likes of summer 2024 and it was absolutely like wonderful, beautiful, amazing. Many skins rose up in price ever so nicely, but the main thing was with the likes of the SAP skins, they, like all the SAP skins over the past like 3 years or so, pretty much all of them were in the positive. They were very reliable. They were looking to be a perfectly fine thing to consider investing into. So now that we got the likes of the Quarantine SAP, the newest, brand new Quarantine skin to be accepted in the Quarantine Resurgence, I was like, well, hang on a minute, that one's actually a weapon. We had the likes of the Rock, we just had the likes of the Thompson, but a SAP was looking to be very reliable, of course, with the likes of the Summer and whatnot. I couldn't help but assume we might see the likes of the Quarantine Weapon Boost, along with the reliability of SAP skins in general. I was thinking, you know what, I got to buy 100 of these. I have to. Like, I have accounts that can't do buy orders, but they definitely have some money on the accounts. So what I thought was, well, you know what, I'm feeling pretty confident in it. I'm going to be doing a strong buy order in it when I get the opportunity, but I'm going to jump in and I'm actually going to buy some of them. And this is like, it's been quite a while since I've done anything like that, so pretty significant. I felt that confident in it. And I felt, you know what, maybe it does dip down in price a little bit in the future, but I don't imagine it'll crash. I don't imagine it'll go absolutely awful. I truly believe that it was going to retain most of its price for the foreseeable future, and during the likes of post-Christmas or the summer of 2025, it was going to rise up ever so graciously. And in short, whilst I could buy 100 of them on an account that can't do any buy orders, as time went on, when the price improved and whatnot, I could then sell them on another account, trade them over, and you know, I could just easily transfer my Steam wallet from one account to another, no issues in regards to tax and whatnot. Yeah, well, you know, the Steam tax. So, yeah, okay, that looked pretty sweet. That looked pretty interesting. So what was the other weapon skin I was feeling pretty confident in? The Abyss. Now, with the likes of the Abyss, I was reminded of how the AK-47 behaved. Okay, what's the deal? Well, if I were to show you this in the Steam market, as you can see, it's currently sitting here at $3.50. But more specifically, I want to show you its history, because it wasn't always sitting here at a comfortable price. As we scroll down, when it initially came out, it did dip down pretty hard. It was quite unfortunate, but it did quite literally come out towards the very end of last year during the likes of the autumn fall seasonal dip. So it dipped pretty hard, but then after that, it rose up ever so nicely during the likes of post-Christmas. Did dip down during the likes of Easter, but then, you know, summertime, along with pretty much all the other Abyss skins, that rose up to a new high point. This AK right here is one of the only AK-47s that's come out over the past 2 years that's actually in the positive. Like in total right now there's only like 3, and that's one of them. So that's pretty interesting. And when it comes to like the SAR skins, I was looking at this and I was thinking, you know what? It's pretty much going to be exactly like AKs. Most SAR skins do not hold up very well. We'll take a look right now real quickly and you can see for yourself we have 2 that are currently the positive out of 16. If I were to scroll down to last year as well, I mean I don't even see a positive one right there. Point made, SAR skins tend to, you know, behave exactly like AKs. So yeah, maybe the Abyss SAR will dip down in price by quite a fair bit initially, when times are good, when there's a lot more people playing the game, aka during the likes of the January time, or of course during the likes of the summertime. Couldn't help but assume that this is going to have a very nice time, where it's going to rise up in price and do ever so nicely. A very cool purple, not exactly glowing design, but it stood out ever so nicely. The face, the creature, it looked cool. It looked like it stood out quite nicely, and I was under the assumption that, yeah, in the future people like it, but I just couldn't help but assume, yeah, it's still going to dip down in price a fair bit. So, alright, I was reasonably confident in it, but I fully acknowledged it was still expected to go down in price. What about all these other skins? So, when it came to looking at the likes of all these other skins, I was looking at the likes of Neanderthal Tier 3. Would the likes of Mr. Zinc produce Hoodie and Pants or Tier 2 fairly soon? Will it actually be accepted? I have to take it into consideration because we were seeing a lot of success with it for the Neanderthal collection. There was a lot of primitive skins, but now it's core pieces. Alright, we'll see how it turns out. So yeah, if we were to see any new core pieces being accepted by default, it would spike in demand, spike in price. We just basically had to wait and see. It was abnormal, we didn't need to rush into buying it, but yeah, it still looked okay. Then it came to the likes of me bringing up the Ultramarine large box. Are we going to see more Ultramarine skins being accepted? Is this collection going to actually, you know, flourish and end up with a lot more skins? I had to take into consideration many deplorable skins collections. At this point, they all stopped at like 2 or 3 acceptances. It was a bit of a curse, but would this be able to break that curse? Would this actually flourish? Would this actually turn out ever so nicely? I couldn't answer you right there and then because I had to wait until the weekend to see another Ultramarine deplorable skin being produced. So yeah, I could see it working out nicely, but at this point in time, there was quite a lot of large box skins that are accepted, and not many of them were doing very well, so I was a bit cautious still. I wanted to wait until the weekend. Alright, and then of course we get to the likes of the Neon Core Garage Door. Yeah, alright, maybe we do see a situation where, you know, we see more of these being accepted, and then we see a bit of an interest increase and whatnot. But if I can recall, the up and down garage door, they weren't doing very good retaining their value. When that was accepted, they only went back up to their rust door prices. If I can remind all of you, when we had the likes of the Neon Fuel Storage and the Full Kit Locker, they were the first skins to be accepted from the small boxes and the lockers for the Neon collection. The ones that came out after them led to both the Fuel and the Full Kit Locker spiking in price to a new very high point. Fuel Storage went up to $4, the Full Kit Locker went all the way up to $5.50. With this being the technically second, the second garage door, the Neon garage door to be accepted, the up and the down garage door just didn't really budge. And that kind of gave me a sign that there wasn't really any interest in this Neon garage collection. So, okay, awkward. Maybe I'm just better off sticking with a buy order. Maybe I just want to wait it out until Wednesday, like I normally would with most skins. Okay, cool. Then it came to likes the Bird of Luck AK-47. Wasn't feeling super confident. We had quite a few AKs selling at higher prices at like $3.49. In 2024, we had the likes of El Diablo. We had the likes of the Lunar Dragon AK-47 that came out during the likes of Lunar New Year. We also recently had the likes of the Cell AK-47. We had the likes of the Real Safari AK-47. All of them selling at $3.49 and all of them down to around $1. Yep. I looked at it, it looked very nice, it looked very interesting. The peacock design was very, very, very interesting, but yeah, I couldn't, I couldn't feel confident in it. So Expectation was, yeah, that's very likely just going to drop down in price. How low would it go? Well, I was going to leave it for Wednesday when we did the abnormal barders. And then it came to the point where I talked about the likes of the Hellborn crossbow. It glowed in the dark. Didn't we literally just talk about the likes of a glow-in-the-dark bow skin? I believe that was the week before that. Anyway, same thing, same thoughts applied. People do not want to be seen at night time. Glow-in-the-dark weapons are not helpful in that regard, and people do not like them. People do not buy them. I fully expect the price of this to drop off, and yeah, there's my answer. So I wasn't feeling confident in that at all. And then lastly, I left it with the likes of the double baguette shotgun. Yeah, sorry. So yes, yeah, it's awkward to say, but yeah, with Crolay's Twitch drop, I was just like, is anyone gonna actually want this? Bit awkward, yeah. So I didn't expect much for the likes of that. Also, at that specific point, we did not look at the likes of double barrel shotguns in a positive light. It really didn't look like it was going to retain value. Yes, it was a sequel to the likes of the Baguette sleeping bag, but there wasn't really much there for the collection. Yeah, bit awkward. Right then, should we now discuss the likes of how much these skins sold after the first 24 hours of sales? So when it came to the first 24 hours of sales, not too bad. Not too bad indeed. It felt a fair bit tamer compared to the previous week. Ultramarine large box, almost reaching 8,000 subscribers, followed by the likes of the Neon Core Garage Door, not too bad. Now the Abyss are, you sold 7,000 subscribers, and initially I was like, oh, hang on a minute. That's already halfway in terms of total sales that the AK-47 got. Maybe that's going to be selling a little bit more compared to the AK. Maybe this isn't going to be behaving as reliably as the AK-47 did. It definitely made me question a few things. And with the likes of the Quarantine SAPS, well, look at that. Hardly 5,000 subscribers. I felt perfectly happy with the likes of that. I did not want to see a SAP skin selling more than 15,000 subscribers by the end of the week. That looked promising. So at this specific point, I hadn't actually bought the skins yet. I was waiting until Wednesday before I made my move. But yeah, that definitely kind of put me in a positive light, a positive bit of happiness, I guess you could say. And wow, Neanderthal Tier 3 really wasn't selling that much. I honestly thought the face mask design looked really cool, but I guess other people just didn't care for it. Bit awkward there, but yeah, alright then. So all of these skins sold okay, but not ridiculously. So should we now go ahead and remind ourselves of what it looked like when it, of course, was time for the likes of abnormal barders? Right then, so as you can see, Ultramarine large box was sitting at around 18,600 subscribers. Neon Core Garage Door, just over 16,000 subscribers. Now the Abyss, yeah, it sold more than the AK. It was sitting here at just over 16,000 subscribers. I was looking at it, I was thinking, and I thought, you know what, maybe it's not too bad. You know, it's just a few thousand sales more. In the grand scheme of things, maybe that's not going to be too bad. The AK, over 14,000 subscribers, and if I can recall, that did sell quite a fair bit more compared to most other AKs in this year. Definitely left me questioning it a bit. The Hellborn crossbow, yeah, you were kind of doing okay of about 13,500 subscribers. And then with the likes of the Neanderthal Tier 3, 8,600 subscribers for the face mask, and quite a drop off for the chest plate, that did 7,000 subscribers, huh? And then for the other two skins, which weren't abnormal, we had the likes of the Quarantine SAP and the Double Baguette, and basically the SAP here, only 11,000 subscribers, which was like a very average amount of sales for a SAP skin. That left me perfectly fine to consider wanting to buy them. And then when it came to the Double Baguette, 9,000 subscribers, but still then I just don't think it was going to retain interest or keep the price up, so I wasn't feeling very confident in that. Right then, so let's discuss the prices we suggested when we looked at all the skins. So with the amount of sales taken into consideration, when I looked at the likes of the Ultramarine large box, I suggested going $1.20 to $1.70. I thought there was going to probably be a fair bit of momentum with the likes of this. An instant continuation for a deplorable collection? Okay, alright. Got to keep our eyes peeled, and I was well aware that there was a brand new skin submission for that previous weekend, so there was definitely the possibility we could see 3 in a row in terms of acceptances. That large box, it looked to be in a very interesting spot. So $1.20 to $1.70, in most cases that's perfectly fine for a $2.49 skin. I felt confident in it. I just wanted to see how things were going to turn out in terms of total buy orders. But if I can recall, it all basically stopped just short of about $2. And I just kind of relented and thought, you know what, A lot of large box skins, initially when they came out, they sold nicely, but they didn't retain value, so I didn't want to go even higher, so yeah, I left it at that. Now, when it came to the Neon Core Garage Door, I actually didn't have a lot of confidence in it. Remembering that Duck didn't really make any more neon skins at all after this, yeah, it really didn't feel like there was going to be any continuations. I thought maybe in the future, with the likes to complete the sets, maybe we'll see some more skins such as the berries and the cards and small boxes finally being accepted and perfectly wrapping up the collection and letting it be complete there. Okay, cool. But with the likes of that, I didn't think that was going to be positively affected by those acceptances. So I looked at the Neon Core Garage Door and I sat there and said 90 cents to $1.30. Because at the end of the day, why would you want to guide people where everything is in your base? If you know what I mean. If people were to raid your base, they can easily figure out where to go and, oh look, everything's gone now, hooray! So, if it's counterintuitive to use it, why would anybody want to use it? Why would anybody want to use it? So, yeah, a bit awkward. Right, and then it came to the likes of the Bizarre. $3 pricing. As I said, fully expected to behave exactly like the AK, but I had to take into consideration it had to sell, it did sell a fair bit more, but I just kind of shrugged it. I sat there and said, you know what, I'm going to do $1.60 to $2.30. I will be happy to pick these up at $2.30 if it, if that became a situation. Knowing that I can't help but assume it's going to be doing quite nicely in the future, I felt reasonably confident enough to proceed with that. I was happy. Like, I thought, yeah, I'm probably going to buy a whole bunch of them, but in the future, yeah, I'll be working this out quite nicely. So, yep, there's the answer there. And when it came to the AK-47, I couldn't trust it. 60 cents to 80 cents. Yep, that is like the absolute safest thing that you can put down for a weapon skin. Because at the end of the day, if you buy it for between 60 to 80 cents, you could just turn it into metal and then, of course, sell the metal for a little bit of profit, or at least evens. And then with the likes of the Hellborn crossbow, same thing, 60 cents to 80 cents. I do not trust glow-in-the-dark weapons. I'm very sorry to say. Yeah, I just couldn't put my trust in it. Nope. And for the likes of the Neanderthal Tier 3 armor, I looked at it, I questioned it, I went with 90 cents to $1.30. I did believe we were eventually going to see a new core piece being submitted. I thought, you know what? With the acceptances it's had already, maybe there's a fairly decent chance we do see a continuation happening. We'll talk about that in a bit, won't we? And then for the final remaining skins, which weren't abnormal, I looked at the set and I said, I'm going to offer between $1.20 to $1.70. I have a lot of faith in the set. I think in general, there's a fairly decent chance, like all the other, well, most of the other Quarantine weapon skins, it just flourishes and works out ever so nicely in the future. I understood that, you know what? Yeah, it very likely might still dip in price a fair bit, but alright, yeah, sure, I'll just potentially buy them for 30 cents cheaper. I'm fine with that. I could see it as going to be very nice and reliable, so yeah. I was going to do a strong buy order, and I went ahead and bought 100 of them. And then when it came to like the double baguette, I went with 80 cents to $1.20. Okay, didn't really sell that much. Maybe it does a decent enough job to retain a decent price, if I can recall. Most double barrel shotguns never really went down in price super low, so that's why we went with the slightly higher price, but I didn't have that much confidence in it whatsoever, so it is what it is. Right then, so shall we actually sit down now and take a look at all of these skins and see if everything matched up to our expectations? Right, let's get started then. Let's talk about the likes of the Ultramarine large box, and me playing it safe, only suggesting doing the likes of $1.20 and $1.70. Even like for most skins at $2.49, pushing up to $1.70 is still reasonable enough, but hey, doesn't matter. This got the continuation instantly with the very next rush door. We had a Sheepman Adore being accepted. And this really did look like it was going to have a lot of momentum behind it. There's some pretty strong confidence that this might break that horrible curse where it stops at 2 or 3. Could it? Would it? Well, we'll save that for the future. But as you can clearly see, it kind of did. So, the garage door, that was spiking the price ever so nicely. The box instantly went up into the positive. Now we looked at the likes of the Sheepman Adore. Was that going to end up like most other Sheepman Adores, or was it going to actually manage to stay in the positive? So, alright, cool. Looking at that, I have to sit here and say, whilst I was definitely cautious with the idea that, all right, yeah, there's a fairly decent chance we'll probably see instantly another skin being accepted. Maybe it does work out quite nicely, but large box skins in general this year, just to remind all of you, take a look at this real quickly. As you can see, you'll understand my hesitancy. Because, yeah, that's not exactly holding up very well, is it? So, only the Ultramarine large box at this specific time, that was doing good. But I should also remind you, around the same time that this was in the Rust store, we had the August Twitch drops just about to appear. We're going to get a free large box that glow in the dark and whatnot. And just before that, we had the Fancy Orb large box, which looked very cool. And then, of course, earlier in the year, we also had the Bellum large box, which glowed in the dark. And then earlier in the year, we had the very cool looking Charity skin, the Trust and Rust clone large box. So maybe people just didn't really feel the need to want to buy any of these other large boxes. But this right here, of all the acceptances and whatnot, it's perfectly fine where it is. It's got decent support. It doesn't look like it's going to dramatically go down in price anytime soon. This is going to have a fun time during the likes of October. So yeah, that looked good. Couldn't complain. All right. I went too safe on it. I didn't get anything out of it. So you know what? You can sit and criticise me. If you went in strongly, if you actually bought these and flipped them, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear it. Right, let's now move on to the likes of the Neon Core Garage door. So as I said, were there actual people that wanted to use this skin? As I said, wouldn't it be counterintuitive? Wouldn't it actually be more of a problem for you to have it? Or rather use it, because you're basically guiding people where to attack and where not to attack. But you could try and trick people and do the opposite. But that might just confuse people on your own base. So, hey, I'm trying my best to just talk about it a little bit more. Let's talk about the fact that this really isn't doing a good job retaining its value. And let's also hate on Steam for not working at the worst possible time. Here we go. So yeah, unfortunately there is over 100 quantity on the Steam market. Someone is dumping. That is not having a very fun future ahead of it, is it? Nope. So people are giving up, basically. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. People didn't seem to care for the likes of the neon garage doors. So if we look at the up and the down garage door as well, you can clearly see that these are down to $1.40, $1.29, and that's now sitting there at $1.42. People don't care. People do not want, and yeah, suffering. So we went with the likes of 90 cents to $1.30. In its current position, yeah, I probably would remove the buy order because it don't look like it's going to go up in price anytime soon. Nope. And this guy's going to probably just give up and dump on the highest buy order. So I believe I was correct to sit here and point this out and say that offering like 90 cents to $1.30 probably was the smartest way to go, because at least now you have some time to think about what's going on and remove it. Remove your buy order. Put it down to a lower price. So, alright, it is what it is. I was correct. But, you know, one for one, I guess you could say. So let's just close these, and let's now move on to the likes of the Abyssar. Right then, so Abyssar, let's take a quick look at you, and as you can see, it's gone down in price by a fair bit, but it's basically matched up to my expectation that it was going to end up at around $2. Now, it has dipped down a little bit lower than that. I believe it's reached to a point where it was about $1.80, but if we can recall with the likes of the Abyss AK-47, it went all the way down to about $1.90. Now, considering there's a fair bit more of these in circulation, maybe that's not too surprising. It went 10 cents cheaper, oh dear. But the bilders, they're still holding up. This still looks to be perfectly fine. I'm not seeing anyone dumping. That's all very thin. It could easily turn around and it could easily rise back up in price. This is matching up to my expectation. Have I bought a bunch of these? Yes, I have. And I bought them for a fair bit cheaper than what they're selling in the Rust store for. And I will hold on and I will wait because I can afford that. Alright? So, could this still potentially go lower? Could this still potentially reach a new low point at some point in the upcoming October? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. But I don't expect it to be that much lower. So I'm fine for that right now. Maybe it does go all the way down to $1.60. Alright, I'll just buy a whole bunch more for about $1.40 cheaper. We'll see what it looks like around January time. We'll see what it looks like during the summer of 2025. Oh, yes, indeed. So I'm fine with that. I'm good. Thumbs up. Not going to complain. I think I got that one correct. So if you manage to pick up a whole bunch of these with your buy orders, feel free to comment below. Right, then we have the Bird Luck AK-47, and as you can see, sold for $3. It's already it's down to $1. It's down to $1. Just because it sells at a higher price doesn't mean it's going to help it. Doesn't mean it's going to save it from despair. Like, it's down to a third of its price. What else is there to say? Buy orders, yeah, too low. Just kept going down. More people listing, and yep, here we are. So I made short videos showcasing this. I made sure to showcase it to the best of my ability. It looks nice, but very unfortunately, it's just an AK. There will be more AK-47s being added to the game, whether in Rust stores or, of course, with Twitch drops. It was inevitable. And, of course, during this time period, we had two very notable, cool-looking AKs being given away for free. We had the August Twitch drops for 10 days. So I'm not surprised to see people just probably ditching this and just sticking with the likes of these two, because they're very cool looking AKs. More specifically, you had to spend $3 for that. Maybe people just thought, well, I'm more than happy to just use these two, so I'll just sell this back now. It could very likely be the case, but regardless, there's always going to be more AKs. People can't commit. Hellborn crossbow. Yeah, it's yet again another glow-in-the-dark weapon. Nothing wrong with the design and whatnot. The skin creator did in fact produce a non-glowing version, but Face Punch decided to pick this one. And now it sits here at $1 cheaper because people just don't exactly want to buy glow-in-the-dark weapons. Now, it's not down super bad. It's actually doing a pretty decent job of, retaining some value, but unfortunately, I'm still expecting it to drop off a fair bit more. Get a good look at that. It could easily go down to $1.20 and then to $1. Yeah, but hey, it's done a little bit better. It's sitting here at $1.70 at the moment, but we shall see. We shall see if it goes any lower, and October time will be the answer. Quarantine SAPS. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm happy. I've bought 100 of these. I'm going to wait, a considerable amount of time. There's only 27 of these on the Steam market. Yeah, it's currently sitting here at $1.95. One sale, suddenly it's back up to $2.20. The buy orders, they're still there. They're going all the way up to about $1.60. I can't complain. This has matched up to my expectation. We're going through the bad times right now, and that's sitting there at the same price it sold for, basically. No dumping, no issues, no complaints. Hedge is happy. Hedge ain't going to worry. So with the likes of what we see here, okay, cool. Can it go lower? Probably will. Maybe it goes down to $1.80. Oh dear, oh dear. It only went down by 20 cents. Where was me? I'm fine with that. Look at it during the likes of January. Look at it during the likes of the summer next year. I'm going to be good, all right? I'm going to be good. That's matching up to expectation. Will you rise up potentially even higher? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. So I'm happy with that one. Moving over to the double baguette, it's down in price. One thing I didn't really point out that much was this was only the second double barrel shotgun skin to be accepted in 2024. Like last year, we saw a lot, and the year before that, we saw quite a lot. But this year, there's like hardly any double barrel shotguns. Huh. So yeah, when you look at the likes of the Thundergold double barrel shotgun here, even that's down by 41%, and that at least has the likes of clothing and armour and other weapon skins and whatnot. That has interest. That has people actually invested into the other skins. Well, when we look at this, of course, bringing up that again, the idea's already been done. Yeah, it just felt like it was doomed from the beginning, unfortunately. So, awkward. Very awkward. Yep. And then we look at the likes of the Neanderthal Tier 3, and I will bring this up. We did, in fact, see hoodie and pants being produced. Technically speaking, they're still active. They could still be picked in an upcoming Rust store. But, yeah, hasn't happened yet. So, when this was accepted, these actually spiked in price, and they've actually managed to retain value ever since then. I'm quite impressed. But if you can recall, they really didn't sell that much. They sold like hardly anything. And on the market right now, it's still very low. So at least something in the Neanderthal collection has worked out quite nicely, because the high clothing is still down in price, which still surprised me. Alright, fair enough. Maybe we'll still see the likes of a continuation. Maybe Complete the Sets might step in and help us out. But are we going to see Tier 2 armor still? We shall see. These have gone down to about $1.20. And if you can recall, I suggested offering, what was it, 90 cents to $1.30? Well, yeah, you would have had time. You would have had time to figure out if you wanted to keep your barter or not. And unfortunately, it does look like it will be going below its Rust store price. So I believe I was correct enough to be able to have a decent, safe buy order down and then know what to do next. But yeah, it does look like it's going down. So I guess you can sit there and say Hedge wasn't fully correct. I'm fine with that. I wouldn't be too upset. I have picked up a few of these with my buy orders. I have removed my buy order, the stronger buy order. But with the price it's currently sitting here with the listings, it's not too bad. And maybe we do see the likes of a continuation eventually. It would be nice, but will it happen? It's up to Face Punch. So, here's another thing that has to be brought up. What happened next? So with the likes of the chest plate here, as you can see, this did 9,000 subscribers, this did 7,500 subscribers. For some strange reason, and this really confuses me, if you can recall the likes of the Easter wooden door for Easter earlier this year, where it suddenly just got bought out and was selling for ridiculous prices of about $50 initially, a few of these sold for $50, yet the exact same thing. I still don't fully understand why. I still don't have a good enough idea what was going on. I thought there was going to be an instant pump. So, yeah, someone walks in, buys 5 of them for $50 each, and then, nope, nothing else. Done. It was really strange, it was really odd, and I'm still very confused. Alright, it is what it is. That's a bit of a strange story, but yeah, something weird was going on there. Right then, so, looking at this restaurant, basically everything mostly matched up to expectations. It's very routine. As I've said, as we keep doing these profit reviews, you will start to pick up and notice that a lot of these things just keep repeating themselves. Have you been noticing themes and patterns? Feel free to comment below and whatnot. So, next week's restaurant, we of course have the likes of... Oh yeah, Heavy Night again, and then we have the Neon Monuments continuing, and another Ultramarine skin we already pointed out. Lots of weapons and tools. And yep. Where's the clothing and armour? Just there. Ooh. So, yeah, alright, that's what we'll be talking about next week. I hope with the likes of this video, it was all nice and informative, talking back about how things turned out. But yeah, pretty much everything's expected to start suffering once we get close to October, and of course... that is expected to be the low points for all prices for this year, which would mean perfect time to jump in and buy in as much as you want. As we get closer and closer to like January time, it's expected all these skins will just end up slowly rising up in price. So yeah, that's cool. That's something to be aware of. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, best of luck to you and your investments. I hope these videos are nice and informative for you. Yeah, cool. Thumbs up. All good. Bye.